It's an auspicious day. I wasn't going to record, but I thought since it was such an auspicious day I would. And why is it such a landmark day? Because it's my 6,000 days of sobriety milestone. Unbelievable. So I really should make a video and just talk about what that feels like as a sober alcoholic. Oh, I smell the pine, by the way. Of course you can't smell it. It's a bit of a shamefloth because it smells delightful. This is my happy place. Hopefully we're safe from the logging machinery. We'll see. So 6,000 days ago I was in a restaurant in Georgia, USA, sitting with my good friends Doug and Kay Jones after a weekend jam at their house, which was one of my favourite things in the world to do. And it's interesting because I got into AA for the first time, as you were, for the second time in the September, and I flew to Georgia in the October. So I was in the programme when I flew out, but I wasn't strong enough in myself, in my recovery, to be going to an event traditionally where I would drink quite heavily. And I remember sitting in the airport with my little copy of the big book. It's a very small pocket-sized version. In the airport in Luxembourg, reading from the big book to try and find strength not to drink at this guitar event. Clearly it didn't work. But I don't remember at that event getting smashed, drinking into blackout. And my last drink was, as I said, just a margarita in a Tex-Mex restaurant in Georgia. Didn't get drunk that night, so it wasn't like my last drunk was, you know, a fireworks and blackout occasion. It was just a drink with a meal with some very good friends. But I got back to Luxembourg and went straight into the meetings. I can't remember if I shared at the meetings about my slip. I would like to think that I did. I don't think I shared it with my wife though. I mean, my memory's a little fuzzy and we are talking over 16 years now, but I don't think I did tell her. And she never questioned why my sobriety anniversary was in October, not in September. She also never questioned why my sobriety anniversary was on our wedding anniversary, because that's just how it worked out. I was away in October and we got married in October, and coincidentally my last drink was on our wedding anniversary. So that was 2005, and here we are now, 2022, still sober and still learning how to improve my recovery, how to become the person I want to be. It happened for me through the programme of AA, following the 12 steps, which I did, 2005, moved to Scotland in 2008, carried on going to meetings until about probably 2018 would be roughly when my attendance started to wane at the meetings. And my sobriety, I think, was strong enough then that I was able to keep going. And what I'm finding now is that, as a recovering alcoholic, not a recovered, I'm finding ways of practicing the principles in all my affairs. I'm finding that what I learned in the big book of AA through the 12 steps is actually what has saved me. And although it feels often that I'm not doing the programme, in many ways I am. You know, a lot of the content that I share on this channel about how I'm feeling, about how to become the person I want to become, about using, for example, August Bradley's system of figuring out my guiding principles and planning my actions in a way that are aligned with those principles. It's all just another way of practicing the spiritual life that I learned through AA. You know, step 11 says we sought to improve our conscious contact with God. And I think that's really what's going on in my life today. I'm meditating most days, trying hard to make it a daily practice. So I'm using the Waking Up app on my iPhone, which I'm really enjoying. I'm writing every day. I'm trying to practice kindness. First of all, within my family, and then expanding that into the wider world. And it's really hard, you know, because people interacting in the world and still with that default feeling of believing that somehow I'm in control and that I know best, and that if everyone would just do what I'm expecting them to do in my head, if I had more money, if I had more prestige, living my life waiting for the moment when, instead of acknowledging that the moment is now. You know, these are all things that AA teaches, the 12-step program of AA. It teaches about becoming connected to a higher power, about improving that conscious contact. And you know, is it God, is it higher power? It doesn't really matter. What it isn't is me. That's what matters. I'm not running the show. Is there free will? Is there not? I don't know. That doesn't matter either. What does matter is planning my actions and acting in a way that aligns with the person I want to become. And when that goes wrong, promptly admitting it. There you go, that's another of the steps. And this is something that doesn't come easy. I'm sure you feel the same. It's easy to get defensive and to come up with excuses about why your way's the better way and the other person's way sucks. And that's not being loving and kind, is it? I had an incident just yesterday where I didn't respond to a situation appropriately, and then immediately in my head started to justify my actions. And in those cases I'm finding sometimes the best thing I can do, and the only thing I can do, is to keep quiet and not say what is bursting to come out, because that usually makes things worse, you know. And then sitting down with my pen, writing it out, longhand, enjoying the process of fountain pens with beautiful coloured ink and nice crisp paper, enjoying that feeling of getting thoughts out my head in a slow way, without needing to share it with anybody but myself. And that, one of the most powerful things I've been doing, and I'm very grateful to have been keeping it going as a practice for a few months now. In fact, so much so that I celebrated the 6,000 days milestone by ordering a new fountain pen, which we can ill afford. But I wanted to mark the day with something I love. And it's easy to justify, you know, I can tell myself, well, how much did I used to spend on bevy? It's Saturday today. I would probably have spent 50 quid last night, maybe another 50, 60 quid tonight. So that would have been gone. I can spend the same amount of money, or a little bit more, and have something that will bring me joy for years to come. And if it doesn't, it's saleable. You can't sell your hangover. So there are lots of things within my soul that need work. These character defects within me, they're still there in many ways. That feeling that the drink took away temporarily, still there in a large way, but I'm learning how to deal with it through good habits rather than bad, through aligning my actions towards becoming the person I want to become, and knowing, I think, in my heart that I'm never going to become that person, not wholly. I don't think that's possible. Maybe for other people, I don't think it's possible for me. But if I can improve daily through good habits, then that's all I can ask for, isn't it? And not picking up the drink, not behaving in self-destructive ways, which I still do. You know, I still self-sabotage. Things like creativity and putting out content like this on a YouTube channel and worrying about how it's going to be received. You know, fear-based behaviour, fear of being judged. So that's the kind of strange thing about having a content platform and strategy, is that, first of all, I find a way of lifting off what I'm calling the patchwork quilt of fear. I lift that off by coming up a steep hill in the sunshine, or in the not sunshine, whatever the weather happens to be. I still try to do it. And through my writing, getting thoughts out, through those processes, I come to a place where I feel able to share my thoughts without fear, you know, without fear of being judged. And it's easy to do here because a place like this, you know, where you very, very rarely meet anybody else. It's like my own little private sanctuary, you know. And through making content like this, knowing that I'm going to share it helps me in a massive way, which might sound a bit strange, but give it a try. You know, why not? So one of the things I came to this conclusion this morning, one of the things I would like to do more of is writing. I do have a newsletter / blog, which is at camscampbell.com. I would love it if you would sign up, because I'm planning to put out more content along the lines of what we're talking about here, but in written form. So as another way of justifying my pen purchase this morning, what I decided to do was I'm going to start writing some of my newsletter articles in longhand with my fountain pens, and do crossing out and whatever I need to do to come up with a finished article. And then I'm going to post it that way. I might transcribe it, but I'm still going to provide the handwritten version, just to see how it works and to see what it does for me and how well it's received. Because I think it's something I would enjoy. I think writing articles that would kind of match this style of content that I put out on my channel here, I think doing that in a slow, deliberate way, with coffee and fountain pens and nice paper, I think it could be really good for my mental health. And of course my writing, I think, will improve as I do it more. And I'm going to lean into the foster writing community a bit more as well, by sharing my writing with this community and getting feedback from them, and hopefully providing feedback on some of the other members' writing as well. And you know, we'll see where it goes, but this is what I decided as another way of justifying my pen purchase this morning. That's what I'm going to do. So not just a pen, I've ordered a couple of notebooks as well, so that I can start afresh and we'll take it from there. So it's very exciting. If that's something that you would like to see, I think the best way to get a hold of that content will be through my newsletter. Okay, camscampbell.com, and I'm fairly sure I'll be sharing it on Twitter as well, so you can hit me up there at Camule. And yeah, so that's where we are, 6,000 days of sobriety, feeling happy, content, satisfied and excited for the future. So that's me, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all again in the next one. Bye for now.